time on items pertaining to education and/or the operation of the district. Any person wishing to address the board is requested to come to the microphone and, on being recognized, give their name. Questions relating to employees of the district will not be permitted. Such questions should be referred to the superintendent at another time. The total time allowed for public comment will be limited to 30 minutes, and it's requested that each person limit their comments to no more than 5 minutes. This is a professional meeting in which district business is conducted. Board policy KFA, public conduct on school property, prohibits profanity or verbally abusive language. Behavior in the boardroom, outside of the boardroom, and on all district property as a model for the students served in the Whitefield School District 3.
Hello, I'm Morgan Massatelli. I'm a senior and I'm the student cabinet president of the Haven School.
And my name is Carly Faith Lemire. I am a former student and salutatorian of the Haven Schools 2022 graduating class. Now I am a special education paraprofessional at District 49. November 27th, a few nights before the school board election, we went to an Ihop on 8587 and happened to be seated behind 3 current members of the Board of Education, one of which is newly elected. While sitting there, keep in mind it was an IHOP on the weeknight, quiet place, we could overhear a lot of things. The people we heard discussing, the people on the Board of Education, who we happen to recognize considering they are super impactful people of our community, began to talk about COVID, mocking COVID mask policies, questioning the validity of the coronavirus, as well as started to talk about social and emotional learning programs, which I'm sure most of you are all aware about. However, talk about really, teaching our kids how to socialize, be socialized, get their executive functioning, learning, trauma education, all these things super important. They were called a waste of money and that the materials is nothing really worth getting into. So they decided not to talk about that anymore. If you want to go into that one.
They further went to talk about implementing gender-neutral bathrooms are not worth our time because we are our accommodations for transgender students in our community. They think the staff bathrooms is enough accommodation for these students. They also mentioned staff having access to students' legal sex and legal documentation as permission to use the correct bathroom. They also had disturbing comments to make about a formerly graduated trans student and shaking her hand. They discussed pronouns and LGBTQ issues as a waste of time because it's all just a fad in their eyes.
Aside from those obviously dehumanizing statements, they had more to say when talking about special education students. Due to the public comment policy you guys have in set plan, I cannot use profanity or verbally abusive language, so I cannot quote this directly. But essentially, their way of describing special education students fell in line with how apparently all they do is urinate, defecate, and scream.
As board members, it's led with the expectation that any personal bias and conflict of interest will not interfere as a public servant. Pulled from the page 35 of the Board of Education Leadership Workbook, there is no such thing as off the record. Expect anything you say to show up in the news. Share your words wisely and understand that if you do not want it to show up in the media, do not share it.
I point you towards the Colorado Association of School Boards, Colorado Department of Education, as well as District 3's very own board policies to review the responsibilities you have and the protocols you swore to uphold. We request that you undergo the facilitated board training offered by the Colorado Department of Education and that you seriously consider whether or not you're the right people to fulfill such positions. Your actions are weighted and there's an impact on each and every one of your decisions. Expect eyes and ears everywhere. There's no telling what will come of your words.
What we do want from the public, and what I encourage anybody in the public to do, is to pay attention to your local elections, especially involving our school board. The people that you elect affect our community, our teachers, our students, our staff, and our families. These words and the actions that you take forth have a direct impact on Whitefield as a whole. The people standing before us have a direct impact on our rights and our children's education. I recommend everybody get involved in their children's education, and you have the right to choose who serve and represent us as a community, and I want it to make informed decisions as a community.
That's all we have to say.
Any other public comment? Mr. Hoolan.